Hi everybody, welcome back. It's September 6, 2023. Kids are back in school. Summer's winding down. About 3 or 4 years ago, I made a video called 3 Pics, Same Place, All Different. This is one of the pictures involved in that. And in the Gigapan library, they had 3 pictures that looked just like this from a distance. But when you look closely, 2 of them were boring and nothing in them, and one of them really had something in it. That's this one here. Unfortunately, this one is now no longer in that library. It is gone. So that's really unfortunate. This has happened a number of times already with other pictures from other places. So I guess that's just the way it goes. Now, one of the things that I noticed looking at this again was that there was something I had missed, and we had all missed it, I suppose. You know, when I first started making videos of this place, I didn't understand what I know now after all of those Buttes videos that we've had, that everything that the Curiosity rover has rolled over on top of, around, and looked at is all man-made artificial material. And I stand by that. And I didn't understand that when we were looking at this picture here, 4 or 5 years ago when I first made a video of this area. By the way, I just threw in a couple pictures here in the beginning. This one here. And a couple more just to kind of catch your attention. These are things we're going to look a little bit more closely at, but they are highly unusual, to say the least. And I think everything you see here, everything you see in this picture is highly unusual, just because it's not supposed to be there. But we've seen this kind of thing before. It's a little bit different here in this picture. The way the way the city is laid out, right? Or the city, or all of these structures. There's so many of them. Now, on the top left of this picture here, you see a little dark area there, and we're gonna pull in on that here shortly and look a little more closely. But anyway, back to what I was saying before. I didn't realize that, that this was nothing more than what we've seen with all the Buttes, just a whole bunch of downed vessels. They've came out of the sky. This is one of them right here. And you can very clearly see the layout, the sort of triangular shape, and the way it got bent when it hit the ground. And there's another one in the background there where previously I thought that was just a very interesting hillside on the other side of that valley there. But no, it's another vessel that's leaned on its side. We've seen several large vessels leaned on its side. And when I call these large, they're really not. We've seen much, 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 much larger ones than this. So, they're the size of an aircraft carrier. They're large to us, right? So here is the top of that area. Again, the top left there, you see that dark line running from left to right, and that's it right there in front of us. And this area is just covered with buildings and debris, and I think it looks like this place has been repurposed. There's another area on called Vera Rubin Ridge, which I believe is very close to this area. I think it's all very close. Anyway, where they had begun building on top of old downed vessels, and that's exactly what's happening here. And I don't know, it looks like some of this debris may have been repurposed and turned into some sort of living structures. So in the background, all through that valley there are structures, thousands of them, many different colors, unusual different colors, I gotta say, from purple to what almost looks like green. And as always, keep your eyes peeled for things way in the background there, because sometimes that's where you find stuff. Now on the top of the screen here, there's kind of an orangey looking thing. That would not surprise me if that was the front end of another triangular craft that we just didn't get in the picture. Wouldn't surprise me at all. In fact, that's what I think it is. So here's a row of sort of gray buildings here in the middle. And when you look at this area that I was saying is a down vessel, it looks like a bunch of debris, and the outline of it is very defined. In the past, in that wispy area there in the back, I had that down as being smoke, and I still believe that to be true. And don't forget that where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And what does it take for fire? It takes fuel and oxygen. And that's supposed to be in short supply here on Mars. Again, here's the layout of these vessels. And we've seen sort of modified V-shaped vehicles before. Some of them almost look like ocean-going vessels, at least just with the outline of the shape. And this structure on the right-hand side here, we've seen that in some of our previous videos. It's there. It has a crane. It's reaching out towards the valley, and you can easily see the pictures. Excuse me, the silhouettes, the silhouettes of the buildings in the background there. And the part that I thought was the hillside on the other side is got some real unusual shapes on it. And in some cases it almost looks like you can see that it goes down inside there somewhat. So this pretty much, I mean, I was so lucky to find this picture. This is like maybe the second picture, or maybe the third, probably the second picture I ever found when I first started doing this type of work. And I find this one, I had some real winners there in the beginning. And this, this really nails it for life on Mars, does it not? I mean, this is definitely a Curiosity rover picture, and so Curiosity rover's on Mars, and this is the type of construction that, well, it's a type of construction, right? It's not just hillside. Now the other two pictures that they had of this area are completely obfuscated and cleaned off. There's nothing in those pictures whatsoever, unfortunately. And these are very, very large panoramic pictures that in the Gigapan on the Gigapan channel, you can zoom in on these things. It's just a really amazing bunch of pictures they have there. So off to the right there is another little wispy area, but we'll get back to that. This is right dead center between the dark structure and the crane on the left and this wispy area on the right. And along the top over there, you can see what look like structures along the top of that vessel that's slanted. Looks like they have big long legs holding them up to be level, kind of like you would see in the Hollywood Hills. Those houses up on the hills up there with the big long posts holding them up. You know, at the end of the day, what we see on Mars isn't that different than what we have here on Earth. You know, these are all, you know, right angle buildings, whether they're tall, short, wide, whatever. These are just typical buildings. The biggest difference between Mars and here is, come on, what is it? What is it? Population density. It's there's just so many of these structures all around. They're just millions of them. And that is not unusual for Mars or for other places in the solar system. I think we could maybe learn a lot by looking at how these people obviously get along. However, they did have growing pains, didn't they? Because there was a war, for sure, millions of years ago, which brought all of these vessels down and left all of this debris all over Gale Crater for the Curiosity rover to look at. Of course, they knew what was here before they put the rover on the ground. The satellite pictures that they had, no doubt, were stunningly clear and right down onto the surface. They didn't need to put a rover up there. I'm glad they did, though. I mean, it's been pretty cool, and it's lasted for so long. And there's kind of three parts to this picture. There's what's on the left, what's in the middle, and what's on the right. This is on the right. Again, from the distance, it's a bunch of debris. You go in a little closer, and some of that stuff starts making sense. You see the right angle structures everywhere, but the big thing in the middle there, in the shade underneath that, whatever it's underneath, that to me looks like debris of some kind. And it looks like there's a couple of wheels or something down there that kind of laying there. Doesn't look like it's anything that's operational. So yeah, here again, now that we're a little more educated, we understand that this area too is like all of the rest of the areas that we've looked at with the Curiosity rover. It's all debris and down vessels and people building on top of them and carrying on with their lives millions of years after the war. At least they didn't completely kill themselves off. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.